Girls in the house. Cinemondo is here for BRAHMÄSTRA. We always show up for BRAHMÄSTRA.
Yeah.
It comes out really soon, you guys. Like September 9th. That's not that far off.
That's like a couple weeks.
I'm used to stuff like KGF and RR, and it was like 2 years of marketing.
I know. I usually am one to get excited for projects like 6 years before they actually get distribution. So I'm just like, just waiting. No, that's nice. This is going to be around the corner.
They have some really cool videos we've been putting out behind the scenes kind of this is called Inspiration. So now I don't know what it's about, but I assume it's about his inspiration. But he shows like, a lot of sketches before. Ayan Mukherjee. He's been working on this movie for like 10 years. So he's got a lot invested in this, and it's a Bollywood movie, and for some reason people hate Bollywood all of a sudden. I don't know what that's about. They're all like, boycott. I'm like, why do you want to boycott your Indian films in general? Like, this guy looks like he's
been around forever. It's
Come on now.
They're the original. It's fine.
I'm all for any good movie wherever it's from. I just don't think there's any need. So we're going to give this movie some love. So you guys ready to look at this? Yes. All right, here we go.
लाइट उस रोशनी का नाम है जो हम सबके अंधेरों से बड़ी है। एक शक्ति है जो इस जिंदगी में जान भर देती है।
और कहाँ ढूंढते हो ये लाइट तुम?
The threads with which Brahmastra is woven ran very deep in me. As a child, I grew up loving stories from Indian history. My father used to tell me a lot about our powerful gods and goddesses, and I was deeply affected by them. Shiv Bhagwan and Vishnu Bhagwan, Ganpati ji and Hanuman ji, Ma Durga and Ma Kali. A certain spiritual depth and even science in Indian philosophy very naturally infuses the lives of most people growing up in India. As a teenager, I became a big reader. And like many others from my generation,
Tolkien.
I was very excited by certain fantasy series from the Western world. Lord of the Rings and Harry Potter are among my all-time favorites. Then, as a young filmmaker, I was enjoying greatly, but also observing closely how Hollywood was regularly using technology to bring their storytelling alive as blockbuster cinema. And so, as I started to create Brahmastra, all this inspiration that was pent up within me came bubbling up. And I realized that the movie I was creating in my imagination had colors of everything I had absorbed, but somehow they had all mixed together in a way to create a new, a very original color. And even today, as we've almost finished making the movie, this same fact makes me feel very proud that Brahmastra is a very original film.
Oh, very cool.
That was so sweet.
That was cool.
I love how he's acknowledging inspiration from around the world, like Hollywood, and then the Shiva and the gods, and mixing it all together and putting this sort of weird formula together, like he called it.
I only want to know more about the Indian gods. It's fascinating to me.
Oh, welcome to my childhood,
dude. Well, I need you.
Welcome to my childhood.
So my parents decorate very eclectically. Like they're those people that like you walk in and you're like, oh, maybe they're Buddhist. No, they're Sanskrit. Like, what is that? It's all art to them. Like they're just an appreciator of spirituality in general. My daughter is getting very curious about, she's 4 now. Like, who is that? Where did they come from? What does it mean? And I was trying to have a conversation with her the other day and just coming up so short about the Indian gods. And because she's very familiar, we live in the South over here, you guys. She's real familiar with Jesus and God.
Yes.
But I love this. I want this like very rich tapestry for her to also draw inspiration from. And, it's the same. I mean, we all, I think, as genre lovers, like, did you just like, I was obsessed with fairy tales and urban legends and parables, like any type of little like story that you packs a punch or is teaching you a story. Like I always just really enjoyed that. So I think I'm going to like this.
So Lara, tell us about how this resonates with you in your childhood.
Oh, yeah, it's a good time. No, so my grandmother, we she would hold like Hindu ceremonies or services would probably like be the best word, in like her parlor, right? So all of these people from town would come and they would worship, and it was, so it just depended. It depends on the time of year and who they're worshiping and what's going on, but it's always about bright colors. It's always about kind of what that fable means to you, which is so great. But it all ties into Carnival. So if there was ever a fantastical time in the West Indies, it is during Carnival.
Is that when you get to throw colors?
All the things happen. And it's
so
like
cool.
weeks long, and it's so fantastic. So not Mardi Gras, super different. It's very different.
You're not reveling in the sin of humanity. You're not like just
throwing up in the gutter.
But it is all about the costuming and the storytelling through the floats, and
give me a parade or a
it is like, so I was always too young like to really appreciate it, but man, I'm like, I need to go. We need to go. I feel like girls trip live. No,
That would be insane.
Cinemondo live.
Yeah.
Be so fun.
This also makes me feel like, okay, two things. I like how this director, I didn't look up. Is it Ayan?
Ayan Mukherjee?
Yes, Mukherjee. So I like how this seems to be a common theme in Indian cinema as well. He is so, the humility present in just crediting the sources of inspiration is so refreshing. Yeah, it's not somebody trying to be like, well, actually, it's an homage, it's a reference, it's allegorical. Some like just straight up, it's you were influenced by this, and it's fine, and nobody's upset about it.
And everyone knows that that's what everyone else is doing.
That's exactly right, because we live in 2022, and all the stories have been told. So
you're not original. I'm sorry.
Right, like so it is nice, and I love that description, Kathy, like you said, of that he created his own color.
Yeah,
working with
that was
color
amazing.
like they do in hair. Like there are tonal differences, and that's what makes all the difference. And so there's room for everybody to put their own shade on the classics. But
that's where his story is original, right? So this is pulling the ideas and the mythology of all of these cultural things that inspired him to create this film.
Yeah.
And so he's getting that opportunity to, be the first one to tie everything together on its own.
I love it.
I feel like we really are in the space right now where Disney, Pixar, whoever, Encanto style, I want a full celebration like Coco. I want it to be musical, and I want it to celebrate Indian culture in the same way, and sort of introduce that idea of that color of spirituality to kids of that age, because we're all, I was in the Slack earlier talking about, if we do a movie night tonight, it will be Encanto again.
I love it.
I do. I love it. It's fabulous. Like if she couldn't have picked a better movie, like I'll rewatch it and cry every time.
Exactly.
She does rewatch it all the time.
Girl, and she's always like, "Why are you sad? It's pretty." And I'm like, "Oh my gosh, how do I explain?"
Because Abuela's a mean old lady.
And how do I explain like just like the casualty of war and the cultural impact it has on a people? I don't know. Like they're introducing some very heavy themes that I then am like feeling all the feels, and my daughter's just like, but she's about to sing the pretty song.
I know, right? But
when did we start crying when things were beautiful and nice? Like I didn't used to do that. Now all of a sudden I feel like I cry. Like just seeing this, I wanted to cry when I saw his face. He was so earnest.
There is something that happens. I remember seeing an adult cry as a child at Christmas, and just being like, "What are you doing?"
It's called hormones. And
why are you sad?
In our mid-30s, early 40s.
It's also adulthood is understanding the nuance present in every beautiful moment, because they all pass, they all end. Like you're so aware of the like brevity of the beauty.
There's so much finality in it that
you don't understand how rare it is to be affected emotionally by something that's just beautiful or kind.
And girl, I feel every
it's like,
cell of my body aging as we're having this conversation. So yeah, I'm crying because like it's pretty, but it's also sad because like
But
everything
also, like,
dies.
it's gonna end.
I'm crying because he was a child when he saw these Marvel movies.
That is really sweet.
Okay,
There's that
so
like
this
happy
is
cry.
where
Yeah.
I was like, no, please stop talking.
Don't talk about how you were too young to
you were-
appreciate Iron Man.
Like I was
Yeah, how-
like a
I'm
true
sorry.
adult.
Is he 19?
How old is this director? You know, a
I
16-year-old,
love it. I love that.
a 16-year-old editor to KGF too. So who knows?
Which girl? What were you doing at 16? I was not editing a film. I was
Fucking off, doing nothing.
doing that.
Yeah,
Yes, I
literally.
was getting C minuses and proud of it. Mm-hmm.
But you know, I love how he's see. My religion is movies. Always has been. That was the church. The theater is my church. I'm very serious
I
about it.
love
I don't want
that. I
people
love that.
eating their popcorn loudly. I don't want them talking or looking at their phone. Like we are in a sacred space here at the movie theater.
Yes.
I love
That's why I don't
that.
go to movies anymore because I hate people.
Because I don't want to talk to
No,
you.
you don't. You're
I
a lovely
do.
social butterfly. No, you don't.
Oh gosh,
Um,
seriously. But so now I love that he's bringing in my religion, which is movies, as part of his inspiration because they are like that's the most thing I connect to most spiritually is just
I love
movies
that.
my whole life. This is my whole life.
Same.
That's why we're here. That's why I'm dragging you guys in here all the time. Like, come on, join my religion of movies.
We're
Let's
here,
do
girl.
it.
Let's do
We're
it.
good.
So I, you know, regardless of any politics or whatever's going on, I think this movie looks like to me grand entertainment. Like just
I'm ready for
just
some fantasy.
pure
yeah.
fun. Yeah. So
I've seen enough heads get cut off for a minute.
I
Y'all.
think we've seen enough of those.
I know. Yeah.
Well, I've never
and
seen
so
enough of those actually, but
I know. I was
I
gonna
can take a break.
I do like the gore, but
Is this so what's interesting is that this movie, right? It's labeled as a part 1, right? And it's
Yes.
just talking about Shiva. So
Mhm.
I'm very, very, very curious to see where he goes with part 2
Yeah,
and
which
forward,
one?
because if it's all of them, there's like 100.
He'll be
What?
like 25 by the time he's done with this.
I always think of the line from the
25.
And then it's like, oh, it took him 10 years to do it because he was like 10 when he started writing the
It's hard
script.
when you're
I
9
don't know.
making a movie, you guys.
But I love it.
No one took him seriously till he
Yes.
turned 13.
Well, it's
Ah.
like you attribute it to like soccer stars, right? Like, so they start out making millions at 12 and then they're
Oh my God.
dropped
Where do you
when
go
they're
from there?
16
Yeah.
and then they get picked back up again at like 20. So
Yeah.
they've made like millions of dollars
I
between
know.
the ages of 13 and 16.
Same with skateboarders. They all
You're
do
like,
that shit.
what
They
the
start
heck?
young.
Yeah.
So this will be Ranbir Kapoor and Ali Abad. They met on this movie, apparently fell in love. Now they have a baby. It's a beautiful
I
story.
love
I
it.
do like those stories.
And Ali Abad, is she in everything? Like every
Pretty
movie I've
much,
watched lately.
I feel like, yeah.
I need
having
to
a
know,
moment.
you guys, in the comments. Let us know, or come join us on Slack and tell me, please, where can I get Indian tabloids? I like physical
Yes.
media, and I love to
Oh.
read. I want to read about what's up with everybody.
Yeah, the
But
gossip,
it needs to be in
Hollywood
English.
gossip.
They,
I don't know
We need to
Hindi.
know that.
I should
And
see
if you want to join our Slack channel, if you want to join our Slack channel, you just have to be a member of the YouTube channel. Mondo or a monster will get you in the door. So take a look on our website, our YouTube channel, and make sure you join. And then you'll get to meet all of us and talk to
Yeah,
us.
hang out.
It's super fun.
Chat
All right.
babies in life. That's fun.
Exactly.
Love
Come join our religion in Slack.
Join
We
us.
will entertain.
Drink
All right, you guys. Until next time. Bye.
Bye.